What's going on, everyone? What's going on? What's going on? It is your boy Niner Sickness with the Niner Sickness podcast show. I got my boy Florida Mike with me tonight. We're going to be rolling solo. We're going to have Mr. E-Man on the comments, and we might get a phone call from Mr. Boston Hater himself. How's everybody doing today? It is Friday. The week is over. The weekend's almost here. 2 more days for game day against the Jets. There's so much to talk about. I'm excited. Can't wait to get into our conversation. But before I do that, let me introduce you to my boy. They needs no introduction, Mr. Florida Mike. What's up, Mr. Florida Mike?
What's going on, family? Big shout out to the Bang Bang Niner gang. I'm gonna take a quick moment and just give my friend Jerry. He passed away yesterday, man. Young dude, man, in his 30s. So I just want to shout out my homeboy. RIP to him and his family. May God rest his soul, man.
My condolences, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, man, we still gonna rock this show, bro. Doing it for the fans, man. So yeah, man, let's get into it, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Give me a second real quick. Let me get this right here.
Shout out to all the fans, man. I can't see your comments, but it's all good. Like, I go back and watch the show when I can, and I try to read them later. So if you posting something and you showing love, or if you criticize me, it's all good. Either way, I'm still gonna say what's up to you. And I definitely make sure I get back in the chat and say what's happening. So I'm not ignoring you. It's not that I'm not listening to you. I just don't see the comments right now. I can't see them. But my boy Beto keep me filled in. If somebody got a question or whatever. So I'm rocking with the fans all day, every day. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
That's right, bro. And I'll keep you informed, bro. Definitely will keep you informed.
Absolutely. Big shout out to the whole Germany Niner Empire, man, where I became a San Francisco 49er fan. It all started in Germany. You know what I'm saying? I was watching them old reruns of the Niners, and I got hooked on to American football. So big shout out to the German Niner Club and the Orlando, Florida, the Orlando Niner chapter as well in Orlando, Florida. Bang, bang, Niner gang to them too, and all Niner fans worldwide, Niner Empire.
That's it. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let me say hello to all the viewers that are here. Let me acknowledge everyone. Roberto, what's up, brother? Joseph, Junior, Richard, Bon, how you doing, sir? David, how you doing? Thomas, how you doing? Lucky, welcome to the show. Roxilla, Kathy, welcome. Martin, welcome. Gordon, welcome to the show. Joyce, welcome. Brent, welcome, sir. Samantha, what's going on? Dawn, my girl, welcome to you and your 2 beautiful daughters, Jayla and Ariel. Welcome. Eric Davis doing his thing on the comments. Just to let you know, my boy Eric Davis is going to be in the comments rocking with you guys tonight as we do our show, and we may get the call from the president himself, Mr. Boston Hater. We just might have to wait and see. What's going on? Let's see who else is in here. Ismael Ortiz, welcome, sir. Welcome. I want to make sure I don't leave nobody out. Janet, welcome to the show. And Michelle, welcome. Donald Burnell, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing? So, it is Friday. Mr. Florida Mike, you're looking good. I got you perfectly in the picture. I can see your Niners shirt. I can see your Germany hat. You're perfectly right on cue, bro. How's everybody doing tonight? The week is over. It is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more days for Niner football against the Jets. There's so much to talk about. We already know that Mr. Richard Sherman is out on IR for 3 games, so he will not be available until after the Eagles game. He'll be ready to rock and roll for the Miami game. Deebo Samuel is still out. But the good news is the young kid, Brandon Ayuk, is most likely going to make his debut as a rookie for the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. And yes, somebody made a comment that Mr. Kittle is out. I'm okay with that, especially playing against the Jets. I'm okay with resting Kittle. We don't know yet what's happening with D Ford, if he'll be out or not. He is game time decision. But I'm okay with Kittle being rested. I have good faith that we're gonna utilize Jordan Reed more, Dress Dwally, and Warner. And we have our running backs, and then we have Kendrick Bourne, and we have Brandon Ayuk and Trent Taylor. So I'm okay not having Kittle for this game. Let him get his rest and let him be ready to rock and roll for the following game. So before we officially start there, Mr. Florida Mike, what's your thoughts on us getting all these injuries just in the second week, bro?
I think it's a blessing in disguise, and the reason I say that is because if you think about it, this is an opportunity for guys to step up and show out. This will also allow Garoppolo to have trust in those guys that normally are not in the prime time seats. Like normally it's the Debo Samuel, the George Kittles. Now he has to turn to these other guys in the rookie, Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be forced to trust these guys because they're the ones that's in the prime time seat now. So when these starters are not available, this is the prime opportunity for these other guys who don't get as many snaps to now get those snaps that they don't normally get and to make opportunity. Like Dwelly, he's not going to have a chance to get this many snaps because George Kittle and Jordan Reed are there. This is the time for Dwelly to say, I'm going to push Jordan Reed for that number 2 spot. I'm going to show that I can be in this rotation of tight ends and I can give Kittle a couple plays here and there off and be a good fill-in. So, like I said, it could be a blessing in disguise if Garoppolo gets the chemistry with these guys. We'll have more depth. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hear you, bro. And you're right. I mean, nobody really cares for injuries. Nobody wants the injury bug. But if we have to go without Debo, we have to go without Sherm. First and foremost, it's the next man up. It's the NFL. The next man up has to come in and has to play. We have depth in our roster. I think the only area that we're probably kind of lacking in is in the receiving part. But pretty much across the board, we have a lot of depth, a lot of players that can come in and take care of their business. But playing the Jets and playing the Giants, I understand they are professional football teams. I understand that anything can happen on any given Sunday. But truth be told, we are playing a team this weekend that is not really good in a lot of categories. So if Niners play their ball, we should be fine. Let's run the ball, stop the run, and we should be fine. Ahkello Witherspoon was activated from concussion protocol, so it looks like it'll be him and Mosley starting at corners. I really believe, Mike, that our front seven is going to feed. Whether I don't know if D4 is going to start, but if not, we'll move Eric. We'll move Eric to the edge, and we'll bring in DJ in the middle with Javon Kinlaw, excuse me, and then Nick Bosa. And as you guys know, Sam Darnold is not a mobile quarterback. He can move, but he's not a Kyle Murray type of quarterback. So he holds on to the ball a little bit. So as long as our front four can bring the pressure, Mike, I think that'll help our secondary a bit without Sherman back there. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
Absolutely, man. I mean, mobile quarterbacks have been our biggest Achilles. And to recap my final thoughts about the Arizona Cardinals, we're going to have that issue with any mobile quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had that. To be honest, man, if any Niner fan is so down about 0-1, here's the reality. Before last year, what was our record head-to-head against the Cardinals?
2-0.
Before last year.
Oh, before 0-2.
Before that.
0-2.
Before that.
We lost a lot to the Cardinals.
You see the trend. So my point is, they've actually had our number. Last year, we were fortunate to beat them twice in 2 competitive games. So
good point.
I don't go back on what I originally picked for the first matchup. I did have a feeling we would lose 1 or 2 games in the division, but I didn't think that we would lose the opener to Arizona. And honestly, I still stand on that. We should have won that game. One play stands out to me more than that block punt, the 1 yard line touchdown where we didn't score. You know, to me that was an opportunity to put our foot on the throat and kind of put pressure on them to come down and score more. When they got that stop, that was not a good for us, and we went offensively. We did regressed that from there. So we had opportunities to win that game despite how bad we played. We still had opportunity. That game is over now, so I just want to say this: encourage Niner fans. Do not allow 0-1 to be the end of end all. Like, you want to be honest about it. Last season we were 13-3, but look how many close games we had. We could have easily been 12-4 or 10-6. You know what I mean? But we were fortunate to win those games, then not. So it is what it is, man. Like, we can easily be 10-6 this year, but the goal is not to be 13-3 or 16-0. The goal is to win the division and make the playoffs. So that's all we got to do. We got to think long term.
That's correct. That's correct, brother. I'm just reading some of the comments real quick. People are saying hello to you, Mike. Pretty much everyone is saying hello to you.
What's up, family?
What's up, Joshua? Welcome to the Niner Sickness Podcast Show. What's your status? What is the status of Richard Sherman? How? You might have missed it in the beginning of the show, Joshua, but I'll give you a recap. He was placed on the IR, and this year, the IR is a little different than years in the past. It's not your usual 6 games that you have to miss, but they cut it down in half to 3 games. So whenever you're placed on the IR, you got to miss, even if you're healthy to come back, you got to be out for 3 games. So he was placed on the IR after the Cardinals game. So he's going to miss the Jets, the Giants, and the Eagles, and he'll be eligible to be back for the Miami game in Santa Clara. Okay, Eric was answering it as well. Minimal of 3 weeks. That is correct. Joseph says, did Jimmy ever throw to a new wide receiver or wide receiver we picked up from? Yeah, we're not gonna really talk too much about Mohamed Sanu other than he was a pickup. He is familiar with the offense, but I'm not putting my hat on him. I mean, he barely got cleared today, so I don't even think he'll be active for Sunday. And if he plays, I don't know how effective he will be. But it doesn't hurt to bring him in, especially since he's familiar with Kyle Shanahan's offense. Not to stand on it too long, Mike, but what's your thoughts of the Niners bringing in someone like Mohamed Sanu that is familiar with the system?
Well, amongst the panel, we had our own internal conversations about it, but I'll speak on myself. To be honest, I'm not a person that likes to prejudge someone based upon what they've done with prior teams. I get it. When he was with New England, they paid him a lot of money. He didn't produce. When he was with Atlanta, he had some okay years. And prior to that, I forgot who he played for, but those were his best seasons.
Yeah, the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah. So he might have had some good runs with Atlanta, the Bengals, and whatnot. But after that, people were saying towards the end of his career with Atlanta and New England, he didn't really show anything. So my thing is, to be fair, he's with San Francisco and the Kyle Shanahan. It's a long season. I mean, at worst, he's going to do what he's been doing, which is not living up to the expectations of what he's being paid. At best, he's going to surpass those expectations, which isn't that much right now. So if he surpasses expectations, then that's a win. If he goes out and does a little bit more than what people are expecting, that's a plus for us. If he doesn't and he meets those expectations or even fails to meet those expectations, then it's kind of like, hey, we weren't expecting him to come in and really be an impact anyway. So either way, it's addition by subtraction. Hopefully he makes an impact. That's my hope. So we'll see what he does,
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I agree. I know there's a few people out there that think he's not isn't the same player that he was once and pretty much garbage. But I'm like you. It's hard to judge someone based on what they've done, good or bad. Let's see what he does for our team. if he's able to produce and does something to help us, the good thing is that he knows the system. He doesn't have to learn it. He's familiar with Kyle Shanahan's system, so that's a plus. We are thin at receiver. I don't believe for a minute that if Richie James did not get hurt, we wouldn't be talking about Mohamed Sanu. He probably wouldn't even be on the team. Now, with that said, the Niners last year tried to get Mohamed Sanu first. A lot of people forget about that. Kyle Shanahan tried to get him last year over Emmanuel Sanders, but the price was too much. The New England came in and offered a second round, and the Niners were not going to give up. Plus, we didn't have a second round last year anyway, but they were not going to give up a second round for him. So we moved on, and we got Emmanuel Sanders, and we all know how that turned out. He helped us out, helped us get to the Super Bowl, but he's moved on. Now the New England Patriots, for whatever reason, let go and cut Sanu, and we were able to pick him up. So, I mean, the way I look at it is he can only help us, not really hurt us. And I tell a lot of people this. The reason why the Niners or anybody did not sign Sanu in the very first week is because they didn't want to guarantee his contract. By signing him the second week, there's no guarantee now. So if he does good for us, great. If he doesn't, we cut him and we move on. But Dante Pettis has not. I know you like Dante Pettis, Mike, and maybe I'll have you elaborate on Dante Pettis, but he didn't have a bad game. But I mean, I don't know. I think Garoppolo has no confidence whatsoever in Dante Pettis. Do you think something that they can work out in the future, or do you think they're just going to give up on him?
Well, to be clear, I like all of our players. I'm just more of a person that I don't kick Dante Pettis to the curb like many others are doing. I believe that he just he has to have those opportunities and reps on the field for me to truly evaluate him. Because even though he's been in the doghouse most of his career, I still want to see him get reps and just have that opportunity. And then if he goes out there and he's dropping balls or fumbling or something like that, but I've seen flashes in the pan where I feel comfortable that he can get it right. Now with Garoppolo, on the other hand, I don't know that I would blame Pettis for anything in terms of production. I mean, he ran his routes. He had routes that he actually beat defenders, and he wasn't the only one that was open at times. Kendrick Bourne was also open as well, and Garoppolo just didn't see that. So I don't know if it's a matter of confidence. I think it's just a matter of Garoppolo getting accustomed to these guys, because the reality is he's accustomed to Debo, he's accustomed to George Kittle as his go-to threats. So to transition to Dante Pettis, Kendrick Bourne, he's only in his second year as a full-time starter. I just think Garoppolo still has to improve, you know what I mean? But I think he'll get there. I would like to see Garoppolo run a little bit more. You guys know I'm a fan of mobile quarterbacks, but I'm not saying he has to go out there and be Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson type, or Kyler Murray. Just go out there and move the chains. Like, pick up a first down. That's all I want. I want to see him move out the pocket, make it easy on himself, because when he sits back there and takes sacks, I don't feel like his vision to scan the field, check down with those other receivers. I've seen a little bit too much of him not going to those guys. But honestly, I don't want to nitpick on that because it's the first game of the season. These guys haven't really had the normal schedule that they go through, the normal practices on TV and, all this other stuff that they do. So their time is more limited. And I think a quarterback like Garoppolo is more affected by that because he's not running. You got guys like Kyler Murray. If their timing is off with Hopkins a few plays of the game, he can just run to make up for that. And then he'll get Hopkins the ball when he gets it. Because there was some tension between Hopkins and Murray, if you noticed during the game, where Murray read him late or overthrew him or underthrew him at times, and they had some conversations. So I think timing is going to be off for, quarterbacks like Garoppolo, who's coming back, from first full year as a starter. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's a long season. Second game, he might go out here and light it up. Despite it being the Jets, he might have that, that routine back that we saw from last year. So hopefully we play better.
Yeah, I agree. Michael Colvin says he needs to run around, and he's agreeing with you, Mike. You got a few people on the comments. that are agreeing with you on your comment you just made about Jimmy. And you're right, he
Absolutely.
does. He's not going to be a Steve Young uh, quarterback or Kyle Murray or a Russell Wilson, but Jimmy has to extend the plays. When things break down, when the receivers are trying to get open, he needs to extend the play, and that allows a receiver, even of the quality of a Dante Pettis or Kendra Bourne, to be able to open himself up to a play. But you can't just get sacked or throw the ball away or throw an interception. You gotta try to extend it with your legs. And when you move with your legs, chances are that a receiver is going to get open, and you're going to be able to chalk it to that receiver and extend that play. So I agree with you 100%, Mike. Hopefully they do that more with Garoppolo. I hope he does that more this week. Um, do you think that his leg and that knee brace is an issue of why he doesn't move as much, Mike?
I mean, I can't really say I'm not a medical expert, but I've seen him run with it on just this past game. He did scramble one time that I saw, and he broke out and got some yards. So I'm sure if he did it once, he can do it again. And if it's an issue, then I'm sure that they'll monitor that. But hey, you're out there playing to win, so you can't worry about injury at this point. Move those chains, take off when you can, and just get to the first down mark. That's all we need. We don't need him to be running for 100 yards a game. We just need him to get first downs with his feet if it's not available downfield.
Yeah, that's that. Yep, that's it. Just make just move around enough just to make some to extend the play. Most definitely. Let me ask you a question real quick, just to kind of change gears a little bit. What is your thoughts of facing our old boy Frank Gore? Do you think you still have it? I mean, the kid. I mean, not even the kid anymore. He's a man, but as many years as he's been in the league, the way he's still playing, man. The one thing I like about Frank Gore, even though he's playing for the Jets, is that he's a Niner by heart. You talk to him, man, and he's always rooting for the Niners. Um, but what kind of game you think? No, let me rephrase that. Do you want him to have a good game, even if long as they lose, but Frank has a good game, or you're like he's not wearing the Niner colors no more? I can care less what kind of game he has. What's your thoughts on that? I think you mentioned it before, but I just wanted to ask again.
Man, anybody that's my opposition, I don't wish no success for them on the field.
Okay.
I don't care who it is, bro. I don't care who it is, man. If I root against Joe Montana, I'll definitely root against Frank Gore.
So that Kansas City game when we played them in Kansas City, you were rooting against them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Look, man. I'm a Niner fan. I don't represent the name on the back. I represent what's on the front.
Okay. I like that.
I mean, granted, I got players that I love, like Steve Young is my favorite 49er, but if he went to another team, I love Steve Young, man. I do. But hey, I'm not going to root for him to beat our team if he's on another team, but I didn't have to worry about that. So I'm beneficial with Steve Young. But DeForest Buckner, Frank Gore, whoever, man. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Sanders, all these ex Niners right now, they ain't for my team, bro. They're the opposition.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, before the game and after the game, I will always love me some Frank Gore. He's a hell of a guy. I know he's going to retire as a Niner, but right now it's game time, man. It's you can't concern yourself about him having a good game. You want to take him out. You want him actually to have one of his worst games. That means our linebackers are doing their job on Sunday. Um, your knowledge of football, Mike, based on where the Jets are at and where we're at, how do you think this game's going to go on Sunday?
I think it's gonna go just like the movie West Side Stories, man. Maybe the Jets won to some people in that movie, but I felt they took a L. But the West Side Story, meaning us, the 49ers, we're gonna come in and beat them Jets like the West Side Story, like they took an L. I honestly, man, I ain't really worried about nobody on our schedule. You know, I'm not saying that we'll be undefeated. I understand that we're still gonna lose some games still, but I don't think we lose games because teams are better than us. I think that they execute better than us that particular day. You know, like last year, Atlanta's not better than us, but they did enough to win, to be better than us. I don't know that the Jets have enough to pull off an upset. I mean, we would have to play. I know we're missing Sherman and Kittle. I get it, but I don't care, man. Like we're we're more talented than two big brand name, big superstar guys like that. Like we're a better football team, and unlike Arizona, the Jets don't have a DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have a Kyler Murray to bail them out when the play breaks down. Like they're missing Le'Veon Bell as well. So and they don't have Jamal Adams back there either anymore. So I don't know, man. I don't really think too much of them right now, to be honest. I think we should beat them convincingly.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Jets are not a very good team, and I'm being polite by saying that. Um, I'm not a believer in their coach. I know he's an offensive mind coach, but yeah, that game, as long as the Niners do what they're supposed to do again, and they play their kind of football, if we can establish a better game from Garoppolo, and he can connect with the receivers, and we're able to run the ball, which we should be fine. We should be fine. Run the ball, eat up the clock, and on defense, I really see us, stopping them quite a bit. I see a lot of turnovers happening on defense. I see our front four getting to Sam Donald. I'm not too worried about sacks. If we get sacks, that's great. But I'm more concerned about pressures. I think we're going to put pressure. We're going to put him under duress. He's going to be running for his life. He's going to be hearing footsteps. He's going to try to make his reads, and before he knows it, there's Nick Bosa slapping him, or there's Javon Kinlaw taking him down. He's going to hear footsteps, and if he does that, and plus they lost one of their top receivers, he's out for the game. So I think this game can get ugly and get ugly quick. I think the Niners can be up by at least 30 points before halftime if the Niners play their type of football.
It has yet to be seen. I mean, we also got to be understanding that our team is still trying to gel. We still got guys like Jerick
True.
McKinnon, Trent Taylor. They're trying to find a way. Brandon Ayuk has not played, so we still, even though we're a better team, we're still trying to gel ourselves. So I believe that we win convincingly, but I'm not going to say that we win by 30 by halftime because I have to see more from our offense to show continuity, to show
True.
more consistency. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Now, can we score 30 in the whole game? Absolutely, we can. But by halftime, I don't know if I can do. I'm just speaking on me. I don't know if I will feel comfortable saying we will be up by 30 during half when we still have. We listen, man. We have Jordan Reed, Jerick McKinnon, Trent Taylor, and Brandon Ayuk as a 49ers player. Just within the 49ers, all of them combined don't have more than one game of experience with the Niners under Kyle Shanahan. That's four people, and they all happen to be receiving threats.
Yep.
So we have four brand new receiving threats that combine for one game of experience. You know what I mean? So right now, Dante Pettis and Kendrick Bourne are our most veteran receivers out there. So I mean, if we're not happy with them as a fan base, we got to turn to guys who don't have any experience and hope that they just ball out. You know what I mean? So even though the Jets are not really good, we're experience wise, we're very green, we're young, and we're gonna have to see, you know what I mean, if our players are able to step up in those situations, you know what I mean? But we'll see, man. I mean, the Jets are still an NFL team. There's no such thing as taking someone for granted. This is the NFL at the end of the day. I don't care how bad they are. Atlanta was bad last year to me. I mean, they weren't great, but they beat us and the Saints.
Yep.
So,
They
I
sure
know they
did.
got a Julio Jones and the Jets don't, but still, it's no reason why Atlanta's team should have beat us and the Saints, but they did. So it goes to show you, man, if you don't come to play any given Sunday, you can lose.
I hear you, bro. I apologize to the viewers if you guys hear me make faces or see me make faces. I'm watching my Lakers play the Denver Nuggets, and Lakers are looking good. So if I get a little excited, I apologize ahead of time. What's up, Travis? Welcome to the show. Says Ayuk is going to show out. I bet he gets 75 yards in a TD. Well, Travis, he's he might be a promising young kid. He may do a lot for us in the future, but 75 yards in TBD for a rookie that is coming off an injury on his very first game might be a little bit too much to ask. But we'll have to wait and see, man. As long as Ayuk is productive and shows us, the fans, that he's definitely the type of receiver that we want him to be, I'm okay with that. He doesn't have to have a 75-yard game, or if he has 40 yards, 30 yards, I'm okay. I just want to see him move after the catch. I want to see how he catches the ball. I just want to see how he flows out in the field. Do you think he has to have a big game for you to be impressed, Mike, or can you be impressed just by the little things he does, whether he has a big game or not? And we're talking about Brandon Ayuk.
Well, in our offense, I don't feel like our receivers in general have major big games. I think they're all just a complementary parts to George Kittle. Granted that George Kittle's not going to be available, his targets might go up, possibly, if he's showing out. So it's possible he might have some unexpected good game. But then again, it's possible that he might get a few looks here and there and still have to develop. I mean, he's first game in the NFL right now. So it's coming at a good time against the Jets, but it's still NFL guys that experience. It's going to be little things as a rookie. He's just not going to execute on every single play because he's a rookie.
Yep.
So, can he have a big impact? I hope so, but I'm not going to sit here and say I expect it, but he might. I mean, who knows? He may come in there and they don't know anything about him but college film. He may come in there and do something, man.
Very good point, Mike. But, very good point. Yeah,
we'll see.
They don't have no film on him other than what's on college.
I don't think any receiver has to have a big game, if you ask me personally. I just think we have to – our identity is not based around one big receiver, a receiver having a big game. Our identity is to mix the run and the pass and complement one another and have a balanced offense and have everybody pitching in. All of our receivers are going to have between 500, 800-something yards probably. Our running backs. And then our receivers are going to have – I don't know how many 1,000 yards receivers we will have, but I doubt that we have a whole bunch of them. I mean, we're just going to, they're going to take their shots, they're going to make their plays, and they're going to do what they do. So they're complementary parts to George Kittle. So now they just got to be the primary target until he comes back.
I agree. And for you guys to let you know, I'm wearing Mr. Brandon Ayuk's jersey, number 11, and I'll be wearing that on Sunday. Show my boys some support. I just want to see what he does, man. I have no high expectations for him. I just want him to be productive. I just wanted to see him flow and get out of there without getting hurt, man. The young kid has a lot of promise, and I just want to see his skills out there. But you're right. Defenses don't have nothing on him, so they might be able to utilize him in a way where the Jets are not prepared for. So we'll have to wait to see. Richard Bryan says, do you think Mike Jackson, referring to you and myself, that McKinnon was productive? So basically what he's asking, do you think McKinnon was productive week 1, in your opinion?
I mean, yeah, he scored, right?
Yep.
He did make an impact. I wouldn't blame that 1 yard. Was he the running back on the 1 yard goal stop that we didn't get?
No, it was Mostert.
Oh, it was Mostert.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't even him. It was the way the guard. Did you know that Trent Williams and I forgot who the center was, they bumped into each other prior?
You said McKinnon?
Yeah, McKinnon.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Mostert. My bad. So McKinnon. I mean, um, yeah. I mean, I thought. I think it's kind of hard to say if someone was productive based on one game when they haven't played in 2 years. I think we need to see more of him. I mean, for a guy who haven't played in 2 years, I'm going to say he was productive because he made it through camp.
Yeah,
You know, that's my
he had a
opinion.
touchdown as well.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah. So, but I was referring to Mostert's long
Oh
touchdown.
no,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
okay, no, yeah,
Yeah.
this is McKinnon he was asking about.
Yeah. But yeah, McKinnon on the other hand, absolutely, sure, yeah. I mean, I thought he was productive, but at the same time, I wanted to see consistency.
Consistency.
And I think week 2 will be an opportunity for him to try to get a little bit more and ease back in. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was productive. You know, even if he didn't score, I still think he was productive because he came out there, he did what he was supposed to do, he executed, and he hasn't played in 2 years. So I definitely think he was productive. I give a lot of leeway to him.
And I like what you said too, Mike, and I want to echo that. He made it through camp without getting hurt. So with that within itself, man, it's a plus. And he was productive, but the guy hasn't played in 2 years, so I think we'll get a better picture and a better feel of him this weekend, based on the first weekend. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But to me, to give a good assessment of McKinnon, I got to see at least 3 or 4 games of him to kind of to be fair to him. You know what I mean? Because you know he had a few plays here and there. It's not really. He was productive, yes, but if I want to see at least 4 or 5 games of him on the offense. Make sure he's healthy to have a better assessment of him. Martin Rodriguez agrees with you, Florida Mike. He says he agrees with your thoughts. Donald Ray has a question, and I'll have you answer it. Is it a question or a statement? Let's see. Well, he's probably making a statement, but that's fine. You can read off of it. Our defenses will stop the offense. So if our offense comes in hot, it is certified to win in my book. So basically, he's saying that our defense will stop their offense. If our offense steps up, there's no reason why we should not win our game. You want to comment on that?
First and foremost, big shout out to my boy Martin Rodriguez, man. That's my bro right there. Big shout out to him. Um, so I'll be honest, man. I've heard a lot of 49er fans say if we score a lot on offense, our defense will shut them down. We'll pretty much have a legitimate win. The only concern I have with that thought process is we had a lot of games where we scored offensively last year, and in the second half, it seems like we did not adjust to what was coming out from teams that had the ability to score. Seattle last game is a perfect example. We've had a few games where we went in halftime, with a comfortable lead, or it appeared that we had momentum at least. And then second half, our offense continued to score, but our defense seemed to let teams back in play by play. So, whether they're on the field a lot or whether they're on the field like they normally are, I would hope that our defense under Salah makes proper adjustments to keep the foot on the pedal. Um, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I'm basing that off of last season, though. This is a new year, but we'll see. You know what I mean? It does increase our chance to win. I agree with that, but is it certified and guaranteed? I know we had a decent lead against Seattle. We had a decent lead against Kansas City. You know what I mean? There are games where we had some leads and we didn't close out.
Yep, I agree. Just to answer Ismail Ortiz's question about Austin, Tavon Austin, he's not even on the team. So yeah, so he's not even on the team anymore. So him and Nelson got hurt, so they are neither one of them are on the team. Just wanted to answer his question. Let's see here. What's going on, Mr. Esparza? Welcome to the Niner Sickness Podcast Show. How you doing? It says he says, "Are you too premature? I think Sanu makes a big impact. The Jets are like 31 in the power ranking. There is no reason why they should lose on the road. If a Ute gets 5 to 6 receptions, then I'm satisfied." Yeah, I don't know how much effective Sanu's going to be this first week. Maybe the following week we can get the Giants, but we'll have to wait and see. But I agree. In the part of Ayuk, if he gets 5 to 6 receptions and moves the ball and shows us that he was productive, that's good enough for me, man. I just want to see him move forward. I'm anxious to see him play for us. I want to see what he can do. I also want to see a little bit more of Jordan Reed. He was able to get us a first down the first week. I think with Kittle being out, do you think his playing role is going to be up more, Mike, or do you think that his playing time will be the same as last week?
I mean, if Kittle's out, I think it will increase. It would have to because he's the guy right behind him or complimenting him on the other side. So yeah, I think it goes up more.
Yeah,
And
Kittle is out.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So with Kittle being out, I'm saying as far as him being a normal complimentary piece
got you,
to Kittle
got you.
when he's normally playing, I think he sees more targets, and that's what Jordan Reed is brought here for to catch the ball, score. He's not the blocker that George Kittle is, but he can definitely, get open on some routes and do something with the football once the ball's in his hands. So hopefully Garoppolo season when he breaks his routes because I still think that he has enough in the tank to go out there and get that done. But all that has yet to be seen.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And we'll see it short enough, man. 2 days away for Sunday. It's a 10 o'clock in the morning game. It's an early game. I think the Niners would have, if it wasn't for the whole COVID-19, the Niners would have flown out today, if not yesterday, towards New York. But
Right.
according to the league, because of COVID, they can't leave until tomorrow night. So they're going to get there, man, and play an early game. So, uh, it's going to be tough for the Niners, playing an early game. But I think the Niners will do it. And then they're going to stay in Virginia for that 1 week and prepare themselves to get back to that stadium when they face the Giants the following week. So I'm kind of glad that the NFL kind of gave us those two games back to back instead of playing the Jets Sunday and then having to play the Giants like 4 or 5 weeks down the line. So I'm kind of glad we got them back to back. Um, who do you think which player do you think is going to have the most impact on this game, or what player do you want to have the most impact in this game against the Jets, Mike?
Well, the player that I think that will have the most impact, hard to say because we're a team full of impact players. We've never really been a team that has that one guy be the impact. You know what I mean? We don't have that one big brand name receiver. We don't have that one guy like that one running back. We have a stable of backs. We have a plethora of receivers that complement George Kittle. Um, that is hard to answer. Who do I want to see have, a huge impact? I mean, to me, it starts with the quarterback. The obvious answer for me would be Jimmy Garoppolo. Who do I want to see? If he's clicking, everybody else is clicking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if he takes pressure off the run game, it allows our running backs to be able to focus on getting that first down running the ball. If he hits these targets on time, if he doesn't miss any wide open receivers, if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't miss any wide open receivers as much, and if he improves on that, and if he runs with the football to get a first down, honestly, I don't think we it's not even going to be too much of a close game. Our defense will do their part enough to win. Our offense, on the other hand, can they play a consistent 4 quarters of executing? I believe we should put up points every quarter. Hope, preferably touchdowns over field goals.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think this time around we're going to see a couple of touchdowns. I think Jimmy is going to bounce back. I'm pretty sure he's he's the hardest critic to himself, man. He don't need people. He don't need to hear the outside noise. He's the most hardest critic of himself. I'm pretty sure he saw a lot of his film against the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure that he wants to prove to the faithful that he is a better quarterback than what he displayed on Sunday. last Sunday, and he will. So I'm confident in Jimmy, man. I am. Um, Donald Bernal says, King Law, what do you think? If you're asking the question about what my thoughts on King Law last week was, I mean, he got a high grade on PFF. I think I forgot what it was, but he was like the second best defensive tackle to have a rookie, and he was the third best rookie to have a big grade. I think the sky's the limit for him. This is why the Boston Hater loves to preach, and even Mike, about practices. This is why you don't really put emphasis on practices, because if you hear what people are reporting, and this is another reason why you need to listen to certain people who report about your 49ers, because a lot of people are going to give you garbage on certain players. There's a person that was reporting about Kinlaw pretty much getting owned. He couldn't beat nobody. The second and third string guards were having a way with him. Oh my God, he's already going to be a bust, and so on. This is why you don't pay attention to people like that. Because what did Kinlaw do week one? He was pretty impressive. If it wasn't for the Kyle mobility to move, Kinlaw could have had 2 sacks. Kinlaw is going to be special. This is why you don't put emphasis on practices. You put more emphasis on the actual game. Some players, believe it or not, play better when the lights go on in a regular game than they do in practice. So you can't really base someone on what they do in practice. This is why it's very important that you choose wisely on who you're going to listen to tell you about your Niners, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to be negative towards, and then you're going to start believing it, and it's not true. I fell to that about Kinlaw, and Kinlaw proved otherwise. So start listening to the Niner Sickness podcast and less of everybody else, man. And you got to be careful, because there are even some Niner fans that you got to be careful what they say, man, because they're pretty whack.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that too, man. Like, if you're gonna get down on a rookie after one game, basing that on, like, what are you basing that on? You know what I mean? To say he's a bust, like, that's a hell of a analysis after one game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's crazy, and it's not even factual. You know what I mean? That's an opinion based on someone else's opinion. Um, I mean, what do they expect him to do? Coming to be Aaron Donald week one? I mean, come on, man. Like, it took elite players like that some games and experience to get to that level.
Yes.
It's gonna be the same with him. You know what I mean? But he certainly can ascend to that level by the end of the year if he keeps going at a rate to where he's gonna keep drawing double teams. And my thing is, man, I'm gonna be honest, man, and I don't know how the fans feel, but this is just my honest critique. You guys, anybody who's been listening to me, man, know I go outside of the box. But when I go outside of the box, I am coming from a perspective of a good place, and I have facts to what I say. So this is not just me trying to be outside the box as some free thinker. I think a lot of fans are distracted by fantasy football. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to people that play fantasy football that are addicted to it, the first thing they'll say is, man, I'm going to get this guy because he's this, he's that, or I'm going to get this defense because they're this, they're that. But then these same people will turn around and say this individual is a bust. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, just because they don't get the stats that you want to see them get does not mean they're a bust, bro. Like, there's a lot of things that don't show up in the stats. Like, if he's getting double teamed, if he's clogging up passing lanes, or if he batted ball down, things like that. Let's just say he does all those little things. Just because he didn't get the big sacks, if he's putting pressure on someone and making them go to a certain side of the field, I mean, those things don't show up in the stat sheets as much, but are they not
Correct.
valued as much? But hey, man, like, you got to look at the totality of what a player presence has on the field, as opposed to just limiting your view about stats only, because stats are deceiving. Let me ask Niner fans this that feel that way. Forget everybody else. Anybody else says that, who cares what they say? They're not a Niner fan. Do you feel that our stats 13-3, that we were a great football team last season based on being 13-3? What if we went 10-6? What if three of those? What if all those games that we had close, majority of them that we won? What if we lost three of those games and we were 10-6 and still went to the Super Bowl? Would we be any lesser of a good team? You know what I mean? Because stats wise, three losses is better than six, right?
Yes.
But the quality and the totality of what our team had to deal with was not factored into that. How many games did we have where we had George Kittle absent? We had you know, injuries up front on the offensive line last year. We were fortunate to beat the Cardinals twice last year. We were fortunate to beat the Rams the second time we played them. We were fortunate to beat Seattle the second time we played them. We were fortunate to beat the Saints. Like, we could have had 6 losses, guys, is what I'm saying, but we still could have been a Super Bowl caliber team because in totality, if you analyze it, dissect it, and you break it down, okay, if you get technical and deep with this thing, you can honestly say that we have a Super Bowl team, but we are also capable of losing those type of games, not closing out.
Yep.
It could happen. So that's why I'm not discouraged by the 0-1 start against Arizona, a quality opponent that we knew was on the ascension and the rise.
Yep.
I still feel like we're a better team than them, but I understand that we can lose to them as well. It is what it is, and we did. I understand that we're better than the Rams, but we can lose to them. Now, we're better than the Jets. We lose to them, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Amen to that.
But when it comes to our division, we have the toughest division in the NFL. Expect another loss. We probably won't go 5-1 in the division. Might not happen. Doesn't mean we're not a Super Bowl caliber team still.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And you know, as bad as we played against Arizona, Mike, and we played bad, we only lost by 4 points. You know, to a division team.
Stopped on the 1 yard line. The totality of it, like I said, we score that, it might be a different outcome.
Yeah, and to put things into perspective too, Mike, is football is about momentum swings. When they blocked our punt, and they recovered that punt block, and they were able to score, that was a huge momentum swing in their favor. We were rolling prior to that block punt, and you can kind of feel it shift. Real quick, I want to acknowledge Donald Ray Sanul. I don't know if I pronounced your last name correctly. His comment is this, Mike. This is my new favorite podcast. You all talk about the good and the bad. I'll get a notification now every time you go live. Well, Donald, we want to appreciate you, bro. This is why we do what we do. We don't sugarcoat anything. We tell you the way it is. We tell you the good, and we definitely tell you the bad. And we speak real football. We appreciate you, brother, being part of the family. Do me a favor, Donald. Hit me up after the show. Send me a DM on Messenger. I would love to give you this Joe Staley patch as a token of my appreciation for your statement, for following the Niner podcast. So send me a DM, send me a message on Messenger, and I'll get some information from you, and I'll be happy to send this Joe Staley patch out to you, Donald. We appreciate you, brother. Continue to invite your friends and family to our group. We're not here to be trying to be popular. We're not here to, like everyone says in the panel, whether we have 10,000 viewers or 10 viewers, we're going to keep it real all the time. And we're going to keep it the same, regardless of the viewers we have. We keep it honest. Martin Rodriguez says, hey, brother, Florida Mike, always on point. My respect. Mr. Rodriguez giving you love, bro, showing you love.
Salute to my bro, man. Salute to Martin Rodriguez.
What's up, Yvonne? How you doing, girl? Good to see you again. She's thanking and welcoming Donald. I appreciate that. You're welcome, Donald. Absolutely. That's just our way of showing appreciation to our members, man, our viewers. Guys, do me a favor as we come into a close of our show. Feel free to share our video. Put this video on your timeline. Put it on Niner pages. Let your friends and family know about the Niner Sickness Podcast. Also, follow us on YouTube under Niner Sickness Podcast. Like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell on YouTube so that you will be notified each and every time we go live. We are building a brand there on YouTube. Once we get it to a point where we want it, we're going to be doing majority of our lives on YouTube. So make sure you are part of YouTube so that when we start transitioning from Facebook to YouTube, you will not miss out on our lives, man. But we definitely appreciate each and every one of you for being part of our show. I'm looking forward on Sunday, Mike. I'm looking forward to seeing the Jets. I want to get that win. The win's going to feel good. I want to see Jimmy G play better. I want to see what our running back's going to do. Definitely want to see Brandon Ayuk ball on Sunday. And I want to see our defense eat. I think Fred Warner is going to have a good day against that offense. And I'm not panicking on this Richard Sherman being out. The next man needs to step up. I said this in the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again. We have very good depth in our roster, and I'm confident that the people that are stepping up can carry the weight until Debo gets back and until Sherman gets back. And if we have to get rid of the injury bug sooner, I'd rather have it sooner than later. It's not. I'm a believer that it's not how you start; it is how you finish. Even if we struggle in September and October, I want to start playing some really good football by the end of November, going into December. That's when I want to start playing some good football. So if we're going to go through our injuries, might as well go through them early than much later, in my opinion. Before we call it a night, Mike, is there anything you want to say to our viewers?
Man, I just think it's so crazy how my daughter literally just came up here to be with me and fell asleep. Like, it's funny.
Oh, that's cool. I mean?
Yeah, she's like, check out, man. Say what's up, bang, bang, Niner gang. She laid out here.
She's with her daddy.
Yeah, she came up here. She wanted to hear me talk on the show. And she was like, she came up here literally while I was up here. She's like, I want to listen to you. But then she fell asleep.
The calmness of the 49ers show, bro. I hope we didn't put her to sleep because that's how boring we are. I'm hoping she fell asleep because she feels the peace of the Niners' victory on Sunday.
If you want to be real, it's a bedtime story. She's going to bed with a 49er talking in her mind.
Look at you. I like that.
That's what it is. It's the Niner bedtime story. You know what I mean? I
like it. Hey, everyone, just want to thank everyone. I want to thank Rosilla, Richard, Thomas, Donald, Ismael, Kenny, Young. How you doing? Thomas. I'm going to try to read all your Yvonne. All you guys that showed up tonight. Everyone that came in tonight to our show, we appreciate you guys. I can never say this enough. This show is for you guys. Yes, me and Mike, Boston Hater, and E-Man, we are the panel here on the Niner Sickness Podcast. We enjoy talking football, talking Niner football, especially. But we enjoy it because we have the best fan base in the NFL, and we have great listeners like yourselves. And this show would not be what it is without you guys. So I deeply want to thank you guys, humbly say thank you for you guys. Every time we have a show, you guys come on here and support us. Much appreciated to each and every one of you. But remember to share our video. Follow us on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. And continue to let your family and loved ones know about our show. We're definitely going to go on Sunday, handle our business, Mike. And I'm going to be doing a show after the game on Sunday. I don't know if my panel will be able to be with me. If not, I'll be by myself. Win or lose, I'll do a live and talk a little bit about the game. I won't get deep about it because on Monday, we have a full panel show. And that's when we'll break everything of the Sunday game between the Jets and the Niners on Monday. But look for me on Sunday after the game to give you a little bit of perspective of what transpired on our game. All right, Mike, it was fun. Always a pleasure spending time with you. Eric, thank you for being in the comments. We missed our boy Boston Hater, but he's always with us in spirit. And everyone here, I appreciate you guys for being part of the show. Have a blessed night, and always stay faithful to the Niners. Stay faithful to your loved ones. Real quick before I call it a night, I just want to say thank you to all the armed forces, especially to all the first responders out there that put their lives on the line to take care of us. We appreciate you guys. So with that said, good night, and good night. All right, Mr. Florida Mike, it was a pleasure once again. You have a blessed night, bro, and we'll see you guys soon. Good night, and good night, and good night.